If your foundation is built on God and truth, and you realize what God has done for you, like, think about this for a second. It's sort of like when Jesus talks about removing the plank from your own eye before you remove the speck from your brother's, right? When you recognize the pain and the hurt and how hard it is to do that, you then have empathy, you can relate, and then you lovingly help the other person remove that speck. You can see clearly to do that. It's the same thing with love. If you accept the love that God has for you, that is so deep, and then you realize, oh my gosh, all these things that I have done that have been so horrible, and yet he still loves, you then can go to someone else and say, I'm a wretched sinner. I've done so much wrong in my life, and yet God still loves me and cherishes me. So now I can go and love and cherish you, even amidst your wrongs, and not judge you harshly for that. Like, that would be how I'd view it. I mean,
yeah.
I see you're about to say something, so.
No, yeah, because I get a lot of those comments where they're like, we can't love this way because I'm a terrible sinner. I'm trash. I'm nothing. And you know, you made a good point that you want to admit that you haven't behaved in accordance to what God would like you to behave. It's be open and admit that. But there's a very fine line between admitting and then beating yourself up about it.
Yeah.
And I don't want people to beat themselves up about it. I want them to just come to a neutral place where it says, yes, I did that. I disobeyed. I treated, my mother poorly, my daughters poorly, my sons poorly, my husband, or whatever it may be, my wife poorly. I'm there, but not go into this like, oh, I'm such a terrible person. I'm so stupid. How could I have done that? How could you love me? Totally understand if you don't want to die for me, God. You know, if you died on the cross, not for me, but he died for that person too. So
yeah, I think that's the point. Is it's not it's sort of like what you're talking about emphasis. It's not the focus on I'm a wretched sinner. It's the focus on God still died for, like, Jesus died for me. That's the focus in that sentence. To recognize that even amidst all the things that you've done that he is not pleased with, that isn't what he desires, he still loves you. And when you recognize that kind of love and you receive that kind of love, and you actually, like, that's the other thing that we need to remember. We need to receive that. Like, receiving isn't just like, example, someone gives me a present and then I put it up on the shelf and I don't open it. I haven't received that gift.
Ooh.
To receive that gift, I need to open it up and then cherish it and use it, right? And that's the point. Jesus is giving you this gift, and you now need to open that gift and use it and go, now that I've received that gift, I know, and I now have a completely different perspective. And now when I go to the people around me, I go, you know what? I love you as Christ loves you, because I know that no one's perfect. I know that we all make mistakes, and I love you, and I know that God loves you, and there's nothing that you could do that would take his love away, because I know what I've done, and I know that he still loves me. And that's the idea. That's the beauty of the love of God for you. And I pray that, you know, this hits, that something out of this entire conversation has hit home with someone, because my goal is sort of aligned with you. You know, I want to see people recognize love and to spread love. And I think it's very important, especially in the world we live in.